FriDooDi. Oh, it's a microphone. The song goes out to all the men out there. You know if you're one. Sometimes, guys, you just wanna be sitting down. It's the Friday Doodle Diary. My name's Maren Doodles, and this is the show where we talk about very important things in the world. It is autumn. It is my favorite time of the year. We're halfway through October. There's a chill in the air. Things are dying in droves and falling out of the trees, and we're sweeping them into piles and jumping into them. I'm talking about dead squirrels. I miss autumn. I miss fall. I don't get that because I'm in Los Angeles. If you're in Los Angeles, there's this weird second summer that happens this time of the year. I'm not a big fan of it. I know if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you're probably shaking your fist at me thinking, so jealous. You're being ungrateful, Mary. Nah. I miss turning into a troll this time of the year too. But yeah, it's something I miss. I don't know. Do you get a fall where you're at, wherever you're at? Or are you in Australia getting ready to go surfing for Christmas? It's different. Turns out the earth is very different in very different places. Who knew? Speaking of missing, I am missing Buffer Festival right now. It's going on right now, and I know I said I'd be there, and at the last minute, an opportunity kind of came up, and it's that piled with all this stress and drama that was buzzing in the background, and as the weekend was getting closer, I was getting a little more worried, and then this thing popped up, and I saw the sign, and opened up my eyes. I saw the sign, and your life is demanding without understanding. I saw the sign, and I said, not today, not this year, Buffer Festival, which was so awful. I wrote the most difficult email ever to Corey, who's arranging it and wonderful enough to get me a pass kind of late in the game. And I had to tell him at the very last minute I couldn't do it. But next year, I want to attack and be more involved in that. And not just that, but like VidCon and other conventions and gatherings. So if there's anything that you want to clue me into that you think I should be going to, please comment below, because it's a very solitary thing that I do here. I'm all by myself in this room. Hello. Wouldn't that be awesome if someone responded? Oh, that would have made my day. That would have made my year, my life. That would be something, the story that I would tell to my grandchildren all the time. And instead of rolling their eyes, they would all sit down attentively and listen every single time, even when they're 13. So Buffer Festival, I'm missing, because I kind of have been having this internal debate on how much I should talk about what I've been doing all summer. And what I've been doing all summer, I've been doing a lot of things, but in the background, there's been this unpleasant business of removing my channels from the Maker Studios network. And I don't want to sling mud or burn down buildings or anything or bridges, because it's kind of a complex, unique situation that I was in. And so I don't want to say too much, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of important things that do need to be not discussed, not vocalized, shared. I want to share it with you guys on that end, because I realize that, of the people watching these videos, many of you are artists in your own way. You either do want to draw and paint, or you are creative in other realms like music or making your own videos. And I've learned a lot this summer. I've learned a lot. Many, many emails and lawyer bills later, I've learned a lot and spent a lot. And I think it's definitely worth sharing and discussing. This summer, like at VidCon, I felt like a huge theme was multi-channel networks, and they've become very prominent in the YouTube realm, and there's differing opinions as to whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. And I think personally, I don't think it's a bad thing. What I came to realize was that what I was expecting from a network and what I was getting was not the same thing. And I'd also gotten in very early with Maker. I started working there as an employee in 2011. They hired me on as a costumer. There's probably not even 50 other employees when I started. And the costume department was like a pile of clothes, most of them donated by Cecily, who was helping with costumes before. And I was the first official person who's supposed to take care of this. And then when I started doing videos, my channel got put into the network. And so it was very unceremonious. Like, I didn't get any like package saying like, this is what we're about, because they still hadn't quite figured it out. And I feel like the company has evolved and streamlined itself, but my deal had not. And the way things were going had not kept up in a way that I think is partially my fault. I don't think I was really pushing that and giving it momentum. And that ultimately is the biggest lesson I've learned this summer. So for anybody out there who's creating their own thing one way or another, the only thing that's gonna keep it moving forward is you. Signing with a record label or getting an agent or a publisher is great. That's a great tool. It's not the magic button, and it's not going to move things forward unless you start moving your own things forward. That is all. And rant. And like I said, I don't want to burn any bridges, because it's all a bridge. I mean, it's this big YouTube ocean thing, and it kind of sucks that some people have the mentality of, it's our team and your team with networks or independent and all that stuff. And I mean, really, it just kind of boiled down to it wasn't working out. And there's still a lot of great people that I'd met from working with this network. And, there's still some people there. A lot of them have left. I think that was the big thing, is the people who kind of set me up had gone. And so then in the process of leaving, not everything that should have been on paper was on paper. That's a little background info. So that was the ultimate headache, dealing with like, okay, who owns what parts of my channel? And I was having to deal with people who weren't there when these original agreements were made. And so it's like you're having a conversation and somebody steps in halfway through your conversation, but then tells you what the first part of what you said was, and the part they didn't hear about. So it's a weird analogy, but yeah, it's over though. It is officially over. I'm officially out. I'm officially not having to deal with that anymore. And it feels so good. You don't understand. It feels so good. And in the wake of that, I'm now like trying to pull everything together and reassess and like be able to take that energy I was putting into that and put it into, making paintings, making videos, the thing that I'm wanting to do. Yeah. It's not that scary though. At the start of all of it, and the idea of having to hire lawyers and deal with that whole gross business stuff, I was terrified of that. Even as a teenager, looking toward the future and thinking, oh, I want to do this and that. But you hear horror stories of, musicians who get screwed over by a record label. There's so many of those. And you just never want to put yourself in that position. But that's almost essential to sometimes getting what you want to do to the next level. And, been there, done that. That's not the worst thing in the world. It is not the worst thing in the world. You guys, there's a nurse in the hospital who has Ebola right now and is flown to a special care area. Like, there's a whole chunk of a whole continent that is in a very terrifying situation. This is not a problem worth talking about. But in my small universe, it has been. And it's been kind of frustrating not being able to speak about it earlier. So yeah, that's what I did this summer. What did you do this summer? So fun. Let me know below if there's any festivals or thingies that I should go to, because I'm doing my to-do list for next year. And if you find yourself on the west side of this continent in Santa Monica or Los Angeles, California, on Monday, October 20th, we're starting the West Side Comedy Theater's House Team Tournaments. I'm going to play with the Cobra Knots, and it's a competitive, free improv show. You vote for the team that you think is the funniest. Hopefully we'll get the trophy again. And follow me on Twitter at FriDooDi, where I will announce new videos coming up. Going to be adding a second video day to this channel. So Tuesday, look for a new video here, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Ow! Son of a